Howdy, you sexy beasts. Happy Sunday. Here is your Sunday nugget to lead you into the next week. Can you believe that this is the last quarter of the winter session? I feel like it has just flown by, even with a little extra strength component in. I feel like it has gone by super fast. So what does that mean for us? What do we need to expect for the next 4 weeks? And please bear with me, because I know there's going to be different parts of this conversation I'm going to have to address. So please, I'm going to try to talk as efficiently as possible here so this video isn't too long. But I would like for us to challenge our loads to our highest ability for the next 4 weeks. Of course, I'm going to give you a deload week or two, and we'll talk and discuss that together, how long we think we need following the winter session. Leading into the spring session. So I want the mindset to be, I'm going into the gym and lifting as heavy as I possibly can. Of course, without compromising ever your form. And of course, you know, if you have injuries, etc., that mindset is going to have to be a little more protective and a little smarter. You have to listen to your body. So for me, in this case, it's going to be, there's no way I'm going to hit my 5 or 8 max rep in a deadlift or a squat. I know my body is, there's just no way I'm going to be able to do that. My knees would fail. My lower back would probably not be happy. Do I think I'm going to get there again? Absolutely. My body continues to improve. But perimenopause for me hit me in aches, pains, and skeletal stuff. So, I have to listen to my body, and I have to accept that for the time being. But I know on the days that I'm being very diligent with my mobility every single day, I am back to doing deadlifts, and I haven't done deadlifts in weeks, or probably months in this case now. So good news is I am improving. So your mindset, a lot of you will have to also shift this way, but there's also a handful of you that are good to go, and I want you to follow the program as though you're grabbing the weights that are challenging yourself to the 5 to 8 rep max. Those are the meat and potato types of movements, like squats, deadlifts, pull-ups. So for example, last week, I didn't use an assisted band. I just did my pull-ups without a band. The first set, I was able to do 8, then 6, then 5, reaching my max, right? To pulling up to the top. And I really did feel that more than, say, when I use the band and do my 10 to 12 rep range. So think of that mindset. Think of how your body can be pushed in those rep ranges of 5 to 8, and then modify and do what you need to in order to stay healthy. We don't want to injure you, but this is the time in the program that it's go time. It's like, let's lift hard, but we have to listen to little aches and pains, etc. And I'm going to not do that for accessory movements like shoulders. We're not going to be lifting, 20-pound lateral raises. No. But for the big ones, you're going to see a big shift in the volume. And that means that your loads are going to go much higher. So this is why it's really good to refer back to your old days. This will be the time that you really will utilize those notes. I know not all of you make notes, but if you are making notes, this is the time that you go back to them, refer to them, and go, holy shit, look at how much stronger I am. Now I know that the volume will be less than what we did in the first and second series phases of this program. So there's like the first phase, the second phase, we're now leading into the last phase. So this is now that you can refer back to phase 1 and phase 2 of this winter section and go, wow, this is actually working. And a lot of you you'll already know your weights just because you're comfortable with, I memorized mine. So I know exactly what my warm-up is for my squat, blah, blah, blah. So some of you are already there, and I get that. But for those of you who have written the notes, and I'll say referred, as I've been doing in phase 2, refer to these days. It's not exactly a copy-paste workout. I would never do that. But I do want to make sure that you're comparing and seeing certain movements improve, especially big muscles like chest, back, and legs. So, my lateral raises, I've always had, 10 max lateral raises. If I go to 12, I know that my form sucks. It's been like that it's just a different size of muscle, and the amount of potentially increased growth and development in such a small muscle, especially for us ladies, is just not going to be significant. But I think most of you know that by now. But we're looking to really see what kind of strength improvements we can push through in the next 4 weeks. Like I said, through conversation on Facebook page, I'll be reaching out and saying, how are we feeling? How are our bodies responding to this? And then we together decide whether or not we want to deload for 1 week or 2 weeks. Typically I do 1 week, but sometimes, especially when I put you through something that I'm going to be putting you through for the next 4 weeks, I know it makes it sound so scary. It's not going to be that scary, I promise. But I just want you to make sure that your mindset is like, 3 to 4 days a week this week, I'm going to lift heavy shit, and I'm going to make sure that my form hasn't been compromised, and I'm going to make sure that I'm potentially pushing my body through thresholds that I have not done before. So that mindset is very, very important. Now, some of you will not be able to challenge your rep range at 5 to 8 if you don't have a squat rack. There's a lot of you out there, right? I'm very, very lucky to have this. Many of you do not. So what do you do if you can only hold so much weight in your hands for grip strength weakness, or you're not weak, but your arms obviously are going to fail far quicker than your legs in this case? What do you do in that case? Well, you're going to have to change your tempos. So instead of, if I cue like 2, 1, 1, so that's down for 2, pause for 1, and come up for 1, when we're doing 5 to 8 reps of a squat rack, but you know that you're not going to be able to challenge the load in order to stay in that rep range, then you have to start slowing the tempo. So you go down, maybe not for the first 3, but starting rep 4, you'd start going down for a count of 3, then maybe you'd hold it there for even a 5-second count, and then pop yourself up for a 1 count. That will really shock the body. Something like that with a pretty heavy load in your hand is going to feel like 5 reps, just one of those. So it is easy to challenge your rep range within that 5 to 8 rep range without a ton of weight. You have to be a little more creative. You have to dig deep a little bit more, but it absolutely can be done. So don't feel that even if you aren't in the rack, that you're not going to be able to challenge your highest amount of strength in this session. So that is it for me now. I've got my Zoto gum in my mouth. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about what this gum is on the Facebook page. I got tons of fun little supplements from the retreat. I am going to talk more about that too, by the way, on our Facebook page. Lots more to share, obviously, through nuggets, through little videos throughout the week, and the Facebook page. I'm going to keep sharing more of my thoughts and experiences there, so hang tight. But this gum was a supplement that they gave to us. So I'm trying it out this week. I'll share sort of what this gum is and what it's supposed to do and what my feedback is. I'm just always into trying new things, and I always want to share this stuff with you. So I don't take money from anything. I get asked that all the time, and if people want to send me free stuff so I can try it, and then if I like it, I'll let you know. But I don't need to make 10% off, one of my clients buying $50, that makes no sense to me. If I like it, I'll share it with you, but I always want to try and test it first before I say I like this or I don't. So, okay, well, that's a 9-minute video that probably could have been 3 minutes. Again, sorry. I hope that you're all having a great week. This is the 4 weeks mark, ladies. Push heavy shit.